But then option number 2 is write something that's actually, thought out, well thought out. Your actual 5th grade, maybe 6th grade grammar and punctuation. I mean, I would love high school or college, but that's asking a lot from you guys. You're not really capable of it, and we understand that. So 5th grade, like bare minimum, can we set that bar?
Are you saying trolls didn't go to school?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I read people's comments, I have a stroke. Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast, and happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to one of the episodes of our 2-part series that's airing this week or today. We're rolling 2 for you guys today. What do you think about that, Nona?
Except it's belated Valentine's Day because
this
is coming out on Monday, right? This was like, what?
We record well in advance. So when people are like, oh, you copied our content. No, we already recorded it. We don't break our content schedule to compete with you. We don't need to grift like that. So we're running a little social experiment. We're going to have a bad episode and a good episode. This is the
naughty list.
Yep. And
nice list.
Yep. I was actually already thinking about Santa for that too. So we're going to jump right into this list because we're also going to try and keep this nice and concise.
We want a
nice small episode.
Get right to it, Andrew. Yep. Who's on the naughty list?
First person on the naughty list, everyone's favorite.
Who's that?
Mike Glover.
Oh, God.
So, guys, look. Some of you already know, and a lot of you already know because you've already been commenting. Mike is back in the court system. I mean, he never left. He was still battling everything. But he has stepped down from Fieldcraft, from his role as CEO, and he's appointed a gentleman named Greg Lappin.
Okay.
We talked about this in another episode. Other people like Jameson's Travel and Veteran Biker, they've talked about this. Focus Trip have talked about this. I've talked about it on Focus Trip's show. So we're not going to get into the nitty gritty details. However, the thing that I wanted to point out were all of the people still continuing to prop him up and support him as this is going on.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. And to cap it all off, so for those of you who know, our channel name right off the bat is a conversation starter. Whether you're like, haha, that's funny, or you're somebody who's mad at our content or the title of a video or what we said about your favorite guy or girl, like, oh, you're probably feminist because that's the title that you use. You're feminists. You're probably liberals. No, not at all. You look ridiculous because you didn't watch the video, obviously. So we just laugh at you. That's what we do. Or at least that's what I do because I read the comments. You don't.
And I'm not military or veteran.
Yep.
And I do not claim to be an expert in this subject, but I am a parent.
Yep.
And being a mother, this absolutely disgusts me, having people defend somebody who would harm a child.
Yep. Look, if you don't believe Mike did it, there are ways that are not as vile of saying so. For one, don't engage with the content, but that's impossible for you to do. That's why we're making this video as part of our social experiment. You're going to be in here telling us that we're wrong once again, and we're going to love it. We're just going to love it. Thank you. But then option number 2 is write something that's actually, thought out, well thought out. Your actual, 5th grade, maybe 6th grade grammar and punctuation. I mean, I would love high school or college, but that's asking a lot from you guys. You're not really capable of it, and we understand that. So 5th grade, like bare minimum, can we set that bar?
Are you saying trolls didn't go to school?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I read people's comments, I have a stroke. There are some well thought out comments. And if you're one of those well thought out comments, I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
You know who you are. But the vast majority of the commenters on our content who are mad about what we put out.
Okay.
I read it and I'm like, what are you saying? Are you asking me a question?
Are these words?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you translating? Is this Google Translate? Are you seriously like a bot from somewhere that's trying to tell me something?
I mean, maybe.
Probably. He's got his bot army. Like Nate Cornhole is what I'm going to call him because I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Nate Cornhole from ValhallaVFT.
Sounds like you're going down a different kind of path. Cornhole path.
Simping and grifting for Mike endlessly. Not only that.
Obviously for personal gain.
Yes. Not only that, we got a little bit of info from a subscriber and follower. Let me pull up his name here real quick. Whiskey Biscuits.
Okay.
Whiskey Biscuits _ on Instagram.
Okay. And did he give permission to say
Yes.
who's? Okay.
Sent me a link. He had mentioned it in the comments on YouTube, but we don't allow links other than when we post it, or moderators, admins, whatever can post
that makes
links.
Sense.
So we're not spammed all the time.
Okay.
So he sent me a link to ValhallaVFT's video.
Okay.
And that was published 13 days ago.
Okay.
And it's talking about Tim Kennedy and the staccato blunder that I told you about with staccato backtracking. They put out the ad, then pulled it after the internet bullied them about Tim Kennedy.
Okay.
Okay. At the roughly 34-minute and 45-second mark of that video, he mentions how can't really talk about it. Things aren't really locked in yet, guys, but I'm working on a deal to bring classes and other partnerships with Fieldcraft Survival. And I would like to play some of that here for you real quick, if I can rewind this back.
Are you allowed to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why not? We are changing it or whatever. It's covered. It's covered. Let's go. Come on. 34. What can I just? There we go. 34, 49.
But I started getting them in 18. Haven't stopped. As for firearms training, so we don't have anything confirmed yet, but you guys know Fieldcraft Survival. I don't know if you're fans. I love Fieldcraft Survival. We are in talks. Me and Greg Laplin, the CEO, are in talks about potentially starting to do some co-branded in-person firearms.
Couldn't even pronounce Greg's last name correctly. There's no L in the middle. It's Lapin, not Laplin.
Training, bringing them out to the Pacific Northwest, maybe get me out to Utah, and actually expanding sort of both of our offerings together with some really badass in-person training. So I talked to Greg tomorrow. I love Greg. Great dude. Super, super legit in the training space. So potentially, we're potentially working on it.
That right on the heels of Greg announcing Mike stepping down.
Right. And if this was posted 13 days ago, that was roughly 20 days after the arrest. 25 days after the arrest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
What a grift. The definition. Going and running defense for Mike, running defense for Fieldcraft, and then
literally have no words.
And then on top of that, telling his fans that we were stealing his content, stuff that he literally took right from us. Did it last year too when Mike was arrested last year. Great guy, wonderful guy. He obviously does his research, when he's making false claims, saying that the girlfriend was responsible again when the girlfriend wasn't even involved. How disconnected do you have to be to both make false claims, claim to be friends with Mike and friends with the organization?
Obviously, you're just looking for a fucking paycheck.
And still not get anything correct.
Wow.
It's crazy. So.
What a great guy.
Great guy. Wonderful guy. That's why he's on the naughty list.
Exactly.
Next up, we've got Brent Tucker in the Antihero podcast. On Monday, you asked me if I thought Antihero was going to do a segment on this based on our experience with them talking about Tim Kennedy and my phone calls with Brent. And
I was hoping they were going to do the right thing.
Yep.
I genuinely was hoping.
You asked me if they were going to put something out. I said, I don't know their content schedule. I don't know their production schedule. I don't know, how far backed up they are. And I don't know if that they wanted to stay in that space. They grew really fast. Maybe they were trying to get into their regular content like we've been trying to do as well.
Okay.
And they did a Squadcast, which is their live stream, which Squadcast is actually also a product of Descript. So I think they might use Descript service to do their Squadcast.
Okay.
I don't know. So during the live stream, which was very long, and I opted not to watch.
How long is very long, Andrew?
A little over 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
So I pulled the transcript from YouTube. And I scrubbed through it to find all of the mentions of Tim, Valhalla, Mike Glover, etc., to see what they were saying.
Okay.
So within the context of the video, they say that they don't want to talk about the subject
Okay.
because
So it sounds like they're remaining neutral.
no, they don't think Mike did it. They're still victim blaming. They even brought up, based on Valhalla's video, they still brought up Jessica.
What?
Yep.
So clearly they didn't look at the court documents.
Nope.
They're using Valhalla
Yep.
as their what?
Yep. And they're saying, oh, don't punish Fieldcraft Survival for the actions that Mike Glover allegedly might have done.
Wow. I'm so disappointed.
And they're saying, since he's no longer part of the company, nobody actually knows if that's true. So I posed the question to get this out ahead of Valhalla potentially doing.
Will you read it off?
My question?
Yeah.
It was a video.
Oh, I thought you were going to read off the letter that you.
Oh, that's a long letter. We can get. You guys can go look for that. It's already on our channel. It's all over social media. It's
Okay.
our open letter to Fieldcraft. It's literally everywhere that we post. But there's one specific question that I believe Greg Lappin and Fieldcraft need to answer. Because it doesn't matter if Mike stepped down or appointed somebody else as CEO. The website still shows Mike as the founder. The footer still shows that it's veteran owned. So does Mike still have ownership stake in the company?
Okay.
Because in order to appoint somebody else to be the CEO of your company, you have to at least be the majority owner, or all of the owners have to vote on the new appointee.
Okay. So by that thought process, he still is.
I believe that he's still an owner, which means that he is still making revenue. Those classes that have him in it are still available for people to watch and consume. So Mike Glover is still the face of the organization for Fieldcraft.
Okay.
They've done effectively nothing.
Right. They just have a new figurehead.
Yep. Who, and here's really funny, his first episode solo without Mike being involved in it on that channel that they changed the name of
Okay.
had less than 1,000 views.
Oh.
And the average on the channel is like 24 to 30,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge
Yep.
drop.
Yeah. And the comments almost unanimously, if Mike's not here, I'm not watching it. Bring Mike back or free Mike Glover.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, there's a new guy that took it over. He's a really good dude. Once again, propping up Greg Lappin. Honestly, Greg might actually be a good guy, but it's kind of telling when you have a retired cop that would fill in for an alleged domestic abuser and child abuser.
Again, no words.
So tighten up the ship, guys. And actually, I wanted to point this out. One of Valhalla's thumbnails.
Okay.
Perfect. It's something. The video is titled something to the tune of veteran influencers are not your heroes or something like that.
So is he talking about himself?
He has Mike, Tim, all these other guys on there, Grand Thumb, all those guys on there. And then he put himself in the middle of the thumbnail.
Aww.
So
Beautiful.
At least you're admitting it, Nathan.
That's
Good
the only
job.
honest
Good
thing that
job.
he's
Yep.
done.
It's the only piece of integrity that the man has.
Wow.
Yeah. I was shocked. As soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, at least you're honest with yourself. You're not
That's funny.
You're not honest with your audience, but at
That's
least you're honest with
genuinely
yourself.
funny.
Yeah. So moving on from there, what time are we at right now? 13, 15? What is that? 13 minutes? I don't know my context in. Okay.
1323.
Cool. So on that same note, we'll jump around here a little bit because all of these guys kind of tie together in some way, shape, or form, with one exception, or I guess two exceptions.
Okay.
Let's talk about the captain. Western North Carolina grifter, not even living in Western North Carolina, lives in Florida.
Okay.
Skimming donations, fraud. He was arrested for domestic abuse as well.
Oh.
Yep. For
When?
For during the whole cleanup operation, and everything in Western North Carolina. He was arrested in Florida.
Okay.
At his home.
And that's how they found out that he wasn't actually helping out in Western North Carolina?
That is how some of the guys figured that out, because they kept asking him, come meet us here. We want to talk to you. We want to actually see your operation. We want to see what the donations are going to.
What a POS.
Yep. His name is Ralph Avollone, but he
Okay.
goes by the Captain. That is his handle across social media. I actually know people personally who were friends with him on social media that I reached out to when this happened. I was like, hey, you guys need to check this out.
Yes, I vaguely remember you talking about this.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, what an ass.
Yep. So the organization, the nonprofit, was allegedly embezzling the money.
Of course it was.
And the entire leadership group or whatever was shaken up. People were arrested. This is still an ongoing thing.
So it's a Ponzi scheme, essentially.
Even worse. And now that he's out, he's asking for even more money.
Oh my God.
To the tune of millions of dollars. Yep. Yep.
Who's dumb enough to give him money now that he's exposed?
People. There's not enough people that know and understand what's going on. So it is what it is. We'll go right on from the captain to Malcolm Nance. Malcolm, the husband of the wife of a spy.
The husband of a wife of a spy.
Yep. That's what everyone refers to him now as because of the gravestone.
Okay.
Because he put...
And when did she pass again? Like last year?
I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So she never herself served.
Right.
And she is buried in a national cemetery,
Right.
which violates... I don't remember the actual code or law.
So I don't understand how she got in there to begin with.
He somehow pulled some strings that made it happen. And they have opened an investigation. They're talking about exhuming the body.
Okay.
Or not, I guess, would it be considered exhuming the body if you don't actually take it out of the casket?
Relocating.
Yeah.
It's relocating.
But when you say you're exhuming something, is it actually removing the corpse from the thing, or does it actually mean digging it up? Like what is the actual definition?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. So, the gravestone has nothing but her first name, not even her last name, her date of birth, date of death, and then a little quote from Malcolm, and it says, "The wife of a spy."
If you do that to me, I will haunt you for the rest of your life.
Malcolm is the worst of the worst. I actually just sent some information to some investigative journalists regarding him.
Okay.
Kay, Stolen Valor, Anthony Anderson, and Dave Park, who was involved in the initial... They had set up a debate.
Okay.
And they were supposed to put... Dave Park and Malcolm Nance were supposed to put $25,000 apiece into escrow with Anthony.
Right, yes.
At the conclusion of the debate, they would have the loser's money, the $25,000 from the loser's money, would be donated to the charity of the winner's choice.
Okay.
Dave Park put his money up. Anthony posted the receipts for it, requesting Malcolm's money. Malcolm backed out.
Of course he did.
Yep. And then he's running around telling all of his followers that Anthony's a liar, that Dave Park is a liar, that he never agreed to it. They have screenshots of all this stuff and running conversations with them. Yeah, it's insanity.
And again, why do people believe this?
Because they latch on to a hero and they don't want to hear that they're actually not a hero.
The veil is coming off, hopefully.
Yep. Yeah. And so his claims not only are tied to things that have happened since he has gotten out and then his wife and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. He's made all these stolen valor claims saying that he went through Marine Corps Scout Sniper School, all of this other stuff.
Okay.
So that's his grift with the news, with all the news agencies. Oh, retired Scout Sniper, Navy Scout, whatever, blah, 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 expert in this and that is here to talk to us about what's going on in, we're just going to say Europe because I don't want to say something that'll get us demonetized.
Okay.
And they list off, Scout Sniper, everything else. Well, when they challenged him on it, because the school has no record of him going there, he produced a certificate from a private class.
Okay.
Run by guys who allegedly are Scout Snipers.
Okay.
But it'd be like me or Nick or whoever running a ranger school from home or an army basic training from home. And then saying, you passed.
Good job. Yeah. Such a good boy.
Somebody from Special Operations and Special Forces saying that they're hosting their own selection and Q course and everything. And then they're like, you have a tab now because I deem so. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Just say that you learned how to become a sniper. You're not a you're not a scout sniper. You might be a good shot. I don't know. He won't even show those videos.
Oh.
So
Okay.
we'll see.
Who's next on your naughty list, Andrew?
Next on the naughty list is, of course, Mike Jones.
Who? Mike Jones?
Grand Thumb, who we didn't report on when all the news broke, but over the last several days, he has started to respond to allegations from all the cheating scandals. There's a lot of Snapchats. There's voice recordings.
I will die on this fucking hill. If you are over the age of 30 and you are on Snapchat, you are 100% cheating on your significant other. Nobody over the age of 30 should be on Snapchat.
It wasn't only Snapchat.
I'm just saying that is the only reason why people go on Snapchat is for your messages and pictures to magically disappear. So if your significant other is on Snapchat, they're definitely cheating.
So they have audio recordings and messages.
Oh my God, what a dumbass.
Talking to women, and he's claiming that it's AI.
Okay.
However, there are some things that AI is good at, and there are other things that AI is not good at. People are not going to pay and go out of their way to get the perfect alliteration and sentence formation and the pattern and tone and things like that.
Right. So it'd be like, oh, baby, love.
It's not that bad.
It's
not that bad, but it does try and take your voice and make it sound. So when you're trying to determine tone and things like that, it gets really complicated. Nobody's putting in that amount of effort to frame you for a 6-second clip of you talking about how you want a woman to take her clothes off. It's not a thing. People aren't doing that. It just isn't a thing.
He got caught with the pants around his ankles.
There's several Snapchats. There's several Instagram accounts and Reddits. They have all these names. So he posted on Reddit, rather than addressing this in a video or anything like that, he posted this whole thing, and then he concluded it with, I fear for my children's safety because I've been receiving threats and this and that, and it shouldn't happen to me. He didn't post anything where anybody was threatening him.
Okay.
Just, here, I didn't do it, guys. I didn't do it, guys. I didn't do it, guys. I'm not lying. P.S. Please stop attacking my family.
Okay.
Dude, you're the worst. The absolute worst. And so the biggest problem that most people have, and I don't know if I told you this, he had always presented himself as being a Christian, Catholic, father, family.
Nope, you did not tell me any of that.
Oh, family first. I'm a great father.
That's the other thing I will die on. I swear to fucking God, all the guys who claim to be the best father and best husband, they're the ones who are dipping their dick where they're not supposed to be.
Yep. And of course, so let's pretend for a second that he never makes those claims, that he's a good father figure, a good parent, or anything like that. Never does that, right?
Okay.
He could have presented himself as a playboy from the beginning. I do whatever I want. I sleep with whoever I want. And then this wouldn't be an issue. The reason that it became an issue was because he convinced other people who were family first that this was the guy that they should look up to.
Right.
And then he's the one going out and actively doing all these things.
Of course. Of course he is.
Yeah. But there's a lot. I mean, that's hours and hours long video that we could get into, because if I took you to the Reddit and you read some of these comments, he's responding to people and he's just burying himself. Not to mention, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but his soon-to-be ex-wife is the owner of his company to insulate him from his former ex-wife. So when she said that
what a great guy.
When she said that she's staying on
because she owns him.
Yeah, she owns the company.
She owns him.
Yeah, she owns him. She owns everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's just trying to save face so that she doesn't kick him to the curb.
Yep. Next up, Dan Hollaway from Drinkin Bros podcast.
Take it away, Andrew. That used to be your bro.
I was never really friends with Dan. Dan's a complete asshole that everybody's ever talked to. Nobody I've ever met has had anything good to say about Dan other than his brother Josh. And even Josh is like, yeah, he's not for everyone.
Okay.
I mean, he loves his brother, but he's like, I recognize that
That he's
not.
a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never met anyone that has anything good to say about him.
That's not good.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I never got along with him to begin with. Ross was only kind of like vaguely. But anyways,
Okay.
they went full tilt defending Tim. And I believe are still defending Tim
Oh.
on multiple of their shows.
Why?
Because Tim is part of their crew.
Oh.
Yep. And same thing with Mike.
They're defending Mike too?
Yep. Dan is defending both of them. From the clips that people have sent me, like going full tilt, I mean, just tearing into people. Yep.
Victim blaming and everything?
Yep. All of it.
Do better.
Yep. And then we can finish up with the dynamic duo. Oh, yeah. We'll finish up with the dynamic duo first. Nick Palmasciano and Tim Kennedy.
And Nick used to be Andrew's personal hero and mentor.
I wouldn't say personal hero. He was my business mentor. He was somebody that I looked up to. Yeah.
I say it nicely. You had him on a pedestal.
No, he was the first like mainstream successful veteran business owner with Ranger Up. Everyone in that era of the military and veterans knew who Ranger Up was, whether or not they were willing. There were a lot of people that wouldn't buy Ranger Up apparel, even though it had nothing to do with Rangers or the Army, because they made licensed apparel for every branch, and they had funny things for all different branches, things poking fun at the military. But simply because, on the sleeve or on the tag, people didn't want to play the Stolen Valor game. Like, they don't want to claim to be a Ranger, even though they're wearing like a Marine Corps or Air Force shirt or whatever. So they had spin-off companies like American, Unapologetically American, a couple others. There were subsidies of Ranger Up. I think they had some success for a while, but they all kind of like died off. But that kind of was a problem. He cornered himself into one niche, and he couldn't really grow and expand the business. And then, of course, all the stuff with the company in Atlanta that they were using to print and drop ship and everything like that.
Right.
We have videos on that from way back in the day. Or if somebody ever wants to invite me on and talk about some of the stuff, I can give you all kinds of crazy details.
All the details.
So, of course, as everyone knows,
Because you never signed an NDA.
no, of course, as everyone knows, Nick wrote, co-authored, which essentially means he took Tim's notes and wrote the story, Tim's book. Not only that, when I was working for Nick, when they were promoting the book, we had the galley copies before it was released for actual publication and shipping to customers and stuff. And they were doing autographed copies.
Yep.
So I wanted to get one for my dad. I'd never read the book. I still to this day have not read the book. Never will. I asked Nick, I said, hey, can I send one to Tim to have autographed and shipped to my dad? I was like, I'll buy the box and pay the shipping to Tim and then pay the postage for Tim to ship it to my dad. And he was like, oh no, just give it to me. And I was like, okay, thinking that he was going to handle all that for me. Or maybe Tim was going to be in one day when I wasn't going to be in the office.
Right.
I'll hold it here for you. Tim will sign it, come back to work the next week or whatever, grab it and send it to your dad. No, Nick signed on Tim's behalf right there in front of me. And then he also signed all the other books. So if you have an autographed copy of Scars and Stripes, it was autographed by Nick Palmasciano, not Tim Kennedy.
So deceitful.
Yep.
But that's the most minor of the deceit in that
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. So that kind of rounds out the naughty list. And we ran a poll on X as well as YouTube. They might still be ongoing. I think they had 7-day limits or something like that.
Okay.
So they're probably concluded. They might not be jumping on there. The poll specifically states, what kind of content do you prefer on YouTube? Positive or negative? And those are your two selection options. So far, positive is winning.
Of course it is.
And I bet you when these videos come out, positive will not be winning in terms of viewership of these two videos.
Unfortunately, I believe it.
This is a little social experiment, so prove me wrong, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that you can actually get through a positive episode? Because we can see, if you guys are familiar with YouTube and other video metrics, we can see how long you viewed the video, demographics about you, all of this information. So just going and clicking like and bouncing off of it, but not actually watching the video, we'll be able to see. Prove to us that you actually want to see positive content and watch the good list.
Because if it was
Or
up
the
to
nice
me,
list.
all we would talk about are positive things.
Yep. So that's the naughty list. Let us know if there's anybody that we left off the list that you think should have been on there.
Oh, yeah. Please inform us.
We did have a poll as well on X that was asking, who do you think is the biggest grifter? You can go and find that on X as well.
Who's winning on that?
Malcolm Nance and Tim Kennedy were like neck and neck.
Gotcha.
Mike Glover was third place and Nick Palmasciano was fourth.
Okay.
Yep. So let me know. Let us know who you guys think you or should have been added to the list, or if we got somebody on the list wrong. Maybe we have a wrong interpretation. Maybe we got it wrong and need to publish
A retraction.
Because that's something that we have the integrity to do,
Yes.
unlike other people.
If you educate us.
Yep. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.
Bye.